What's up, you guys? It's Big Joey! And today I wanted to talk about, well, really a couple of things. First thing that I wanted to talk about, obviously, is Fix TF2 worked. And I'm super proud of this whole community. It was awesome to see it go widespread on social media again. I really didn't expect it to go that huge a second time. I really thought that was like a once-in-a-lifetime kind of thing. So to see it blow up all the way that it did, with us going against all the naysayers and people saying it wouldn't do anything and Valve wasn't going to do anything, and then we finally got this. And you know, I think it really was probably just because we put such a stink on Valve's name right before they wanted to drop Deathlock, but that's just how it had to go this time. So I'm glad that we finally got this change, and for the most part, it looks like the bots are gone. I mean, for the last maybe, 1 to 2 months, I have not seen a single bot in game, and it has been amazing, and casual has been super fun to play again with my friends, and you see a lot of people coming back, even YouTubers coming back, and things like that. So I think TF2 is basically saved at this point. Now, the thing that kind of irks me now is just what happens with TF2 now. You know, even if we fix TF2 for the foreseeable future, it's kind of like we know this game isn't really going to be focused heavily on ever again by Valve. There's, you know, a chance that we're going to get some more updates, obviously, seasonal updates, and that we're catching wind that Comic 7 is currently being worked on and finished. But my only question is, where does this go from here? Do we just keep getting these seasonal updates? Do we just keep dropping the maps, the cosmetics, and so on and so forth? Now, one thing I would say is that I don't think we can possibly keep doing updates the same way we've been doing updates. We can't do it for too long. The reason being would just be this. Imagine if you open TF2 in the future, and we've just continually added all the summer maps, some of the Halloween maps, even some of the winter maps if they were good enough, through these updates, and before you know it, you open up the core game modes of Team Fortress 2, and there's like 40 maps per slot. How are you possibly going to choose that? How are they possibly going to have even enough servers for you to want to play some of your favorite maps? We can't keep adding just this infinite amount of maps. And I honestly think part of the problem is that TF2 is just such a good game and has just lasted for so long that it's like we keep getting more and more and more maps, and this game hasn't come to an end. I mean, if you really think about it, I can't think of a single shooter that's gone on like this for this long. You know, like, there's no, like, Halo 2, for instance, that just kept building and building until they had 1,000 maps in the game. They obviously made, at some point, like, a whole nother game for Halo. But with this game, TF2 has just kept going and going and going, and since Valve is afraid to count to 3, we're still playing Team Fortress 2, right? And so, inevitably, you can't just keep adding and adding and adding onto this game. Maybe with cosmetics you could make that case, but if we keep adding to the map pool, I just don't see that going well in the future, not even in the 5-year future. So, my thoughts are this: to kind of delay just adding more and more maps to our casual pool. Because as it stands right now, there are already 76 maps in our core game mode. Not to mention all the other type of maps on there, like Pastime and Saxon Hail and all those. That actually makes up about 98 maps in total, just in casual alone. But I think what they could do in the meantime is this: to not add just more and more maps to the casual pool. I think that you could add more maps to MVM, which I think would make an incredible update. I talked about this in a video years ago when I suggested what Valve could do for a heavy update, and I'm still repeating it now. I feel like Valve could put in an update where they just do the same thing they've been doing for the summer, Halloween updates, and the Christmas updates, where they basically just go into the Steam Workshop, they look for a few maps, a few cosmetics, and they put them in. With these MVM maps that you see a lot of the times in the workshop, they work the same way. They even have the scripting, they even have the bots down, so maybe there would have to be, you know, a few custom textures approved and added in, but that's pretty much it. But that being said, there would be such an appeal for that. People loved MVM. I mean, it's so old that now people have probably gone further and further away from it, or they've gone to different sites where they look for different types of MVM gameplay. But if Valve would just put in some new MVM maps and, I don't know, maybe put in some extra unusual variants, maybe they could do Aussie variants, maybe they could do titanium type of weapons, whatever it is. Me personally, I would love it if they just added a few more Aussies, like they could do the Aussie Dragon's Fury, an Aussie Machina, an Aussie Iron Bomber. Like, all of those would be incredible and would get people wanting to hop back into MVM. And then you put in some new MVM fights, some new bosses, some new maps. That would be incredible. And that would delay, to me, what I think is kind of inevitable, which is, at some point, I feel like TF2 has to have a final update. In the same way that Left 4 Dead 2 had like a final update. I think the cosmetic updates could continue pretty much forever. Valve could continue milking their cash cow like that pretty much every summer, Halloween, and Christmas. But I think at some point, they need to have like a final update that would give closure to the game, that would let everyone know, hey, we're not gonna get, any more weapons, we're not gonna get any more this, that, lore, the other. It would just finally end. And I don't think that would mean TF2 is going to end. I think TF2 would continue on in a still great state. I think people would still play it because it's free, because it's fun, because it's a legendary game. In the same way that people still play Left 4 Dead and other games that aren't updated regularly or ever anymore. So I think in the future, we should expect a one final major update. And I feel like Valve should come through with that for their community. For such a loyal, big community, as much as TF2 has done for this company, just from that game alone, the comics, the memes, the publicity, everything, I feel like Valve should do it for their community and the community's love for their game. And I think maybe that could be the time where they finally tie in the 7th comic. Like maybe they put it all together in one big going away update. But realistically, this is just where I potentially see TF2 going in the future. This is how I could see a good send-off, because the way it's going, TF2 is great now. It's the best it's been in years. But if we keep just adding new maps, I just don't see this going well in the future, and I feel like Valve has to slightly change course in the future for this game to continue on well. But anyways, those are just my thoughts. I just wanted to get that all out there in a video. Let me know if you agree or disagree in the comments below. Again, casual has been great, you guys. I hope you guys have been out there playing and loving it as much as I have. I do have more videos planned. If you guys haven't already seen my 2 videos I've made before this, go check those out. But anyways, that was it for this video, you guys. I'll see you guys in the next one, and until next time, later.